My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
Across communities once silenced by fear and tradition, voices are rising to end female genital mutilation. Men are redefining manhood, not through strong muscles, but through understanding, protection, and responsibility. Survivors are rebuilding their lives, transforming pain into purpose and economic independence. Their stories did not end with FGM. They chose a new future. Faith leaders are reshaping moral voices within communities, standing against harm and defending the dignity of girls.
I tell you, the people of Sabay sub-region, to end FGM, to end FGM, to end FGM.
Young survivors are breaking the silence, speaking not only for themselves, but for those who never lived to tell their stories.
I am now a champion of FGM, and I am serving as an example in a community.
From grassroots movements to government intervention, the resistance against FGM is growing stronger.
Already the ministers asked that we share the curriculum. We want it to be part of the informal education process that will be supported by the Ministry of Gender.
For survivors escaping violence and rejection, gender-based violence shelters have become places of healing, safety, and hope. They help girls rebuild their lives beyond trauma.
So when they run to the shelter, we give them temporary accommodation, including those that are being battered for many other reasons. They come and they shelter them for a while. And in the process of sheltering, we provide counseling.
Ending FGM begins when communities unite, speak out, and choose dignity over fear. Voices Rising, the movement to end female genital mutilation. Coming soon on UBC.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
A very good morning to you. It is Good Morning Uganda, and thank you so much for watching Good Morning Uganda this morning that came straight from the World Cup match of South Korea and South Africa into Good Morning Uganda. The show on UBC TV coming to you live from the Nile Avenue. This morning on The Real, we are looking at the aftermath of the Kalangala by-election for the district woman MP there. That had results as follows. Babidie Sharifa, independent, got 244 votes. Nabaiga Aida of the NRM party got 12,642 votes. Nagawa Helen Flavia of the independent got 217 votes. Nampala Irene of the NUP party got 7,474 votes. And Nasuna Agnes on the independent ticket got 34 votes. Had a total number of valid votes as 20,611 and total number of invalid votes as 427 votes. Now let's look at the aftermath of this particular election, and to have this conversation with us over the phone is Ambassador James Chinobe Williams, who is the Commissioner NRM Electoral Commission for Buganda region. My name is Julie F. Nantaba with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. Ambassador, a very good morning to you.
A very good morning to my daughter, I think, and Robert.
Yes, please.
Thank you for enabling us to communicate to all of you guys there and all the Ugandans through the mighty station to share what has been transpiring since the whole exercise began and got concluded last night at around 2 a.m. in the morning.
Indeed. Could only be indeed just a few hours up to now at 2 a.m.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Looking at the whole exercise from the time nominations started, from the time registration started, up until right now, how does the NRM assess this election?
If you want to get a fair picture of this election, you need to look at it right from the January elections of the presidential and the parliamentary elections.
Right. Hello?
By-election. Hello? Yes. Our network is not very good. I'm wondering if you're getting me.
We had lost you just a bit, but you could take us back at the beginning of the January elections. It's where we lost you from.
Absolutely. So to get a clear picture, you need to get the whole story, because in the 2021 elections, we didn't perform well. That wave which affected most of our strong areas in Buganda greatly affected Kalangala. We lost all the MPs, we lost the LC5, but in the January elections, we regained Kalangala once again, because in that election, His Excellency the President got 52 votes, 52% of the votes cast. We emerged with the 2 MPs from the 2 direct constituencies of Chamuswa and the Bujumba and the Bujumba. And when you go to the local government, the LC5 chairperson won overwhelmingly. Of the 23 councillors at the district council, NRM had 21. That is 19 directly NRM and 2 NRM leaning. When we went down to the lower local government elections, we actually won by 169 out of over the 100, about 180 local councillors. We have 7 sub-counties, and Nope got 3. We only lost the district from an MP, and very strangely, with a very strange margin, because as you recall, the elections were on the same day. The president, the LC5, the MPs all won with over 52%. Interestingly, this lady they are defeated, got 46%, but the winning Nope candidate got 52. So it was strange, and we realized there was a problem from within our camp, and that's why she lost. But of course, the other factor was that she was also standing against the late Nachimwe, who was also an equally strong candidate. So it is not true that we are just regaining Kalangala, but we regained Kalangala in the 2026 elections. By way of a by-election, we have been able now to regain even the remaining slot of the MPs from Kalangala.
Now, congratulations, Honorable, and of course to the NRM party for now having fully, you can say, regained Kalangala. Yes. But let's look at the nature of these campaigns. We've had so much allegations of violations of human rights, like intimidation, some alleged use of security forces, denial of campaign grounds. Yesterday we saw the leader of opposition alleging that he was even denied access to Kalangala, getting on the ferry, 2 different ferries, but none could proceed to Kalangala. What do you say about these allegations and accusations against your camp?
Of course, the allegations are calculated just to dampen the victory we had there. But if you want to examine how both camps, and I'm talking about 2 camps because majorly the contest was between Nope, which was the defending party, because the late sister of ours who had died was from Nope, and then NRM, who had also lost, but definitely the lady had been the MP of the area, who was trying to reclaim her seat. Now, the allegations are just malicious and baseless. If you want to get the clear picture, you look at the deployment status of both parties. For example, we started this campaign, I went there on the 8th May with the stakeholders meeting. The Nope never had any senior officer from the party, and we were just a few leaders of the parties. I would have expected Nope at that time to have been represented by a very senior person. That didn't happen. Come the nominations day, I saw only the leader of the opposition. He was not accompanied by any other person. 4 of us from the party, including Honorable Kasola and all the other senior leaders, we camped in this place from the 8th of June up to the last night. All of us, the leaders of the party, including the president, had campaigned very heavily in every village of Kalangala. I want to challenge the Nope to show us any of their rallies other than parading throughout the constituency with mandas on sticks that vote for Nampala, vote for the mandas, and sympathy vote. So it is not true that we maligned them or the security did that, but the campaign team of Nope was virtually absent. Talking about Lop, you come at midday on the voting day instead of coming earlier to campaign. Really is an unfair accusation. 2, he doesn't even know how to explain the ferry. There are 2 ferries, yes, but they don't move at the same time. So you couldn't have been denied on this one, then turn midway in the lake and go back and get another one. What happened, I think, it's the congestion we had, because remember, that ferry is the road for Kalangala. It has only 4 shifts. It is us who requested, because the time of the closing of the campaign was congested with the president's rally. We had the march of the Uganda Masaza Cup on the 20th. We had the closing rallies of the president. They had their own closing rally, which was supposed to have been on the 20th. Now, when they failed to get a turn up on the 20th, they now try to come back to use the day of the 22nd, which we had booked right from the beginning. We had a meeting at the other DC's office with their team leader. We discussed and went through all of this, and they told them that Kalangala is an area of 84 islands. 64 of them are habited, and they are enclosed. We cannot have 2 principal parties containing in the same area. Because we had already booked Bugala, which you people call Sese Islands, they also wanted to use the same island, but the RDC and the security team in the meeting advised them that pick any other island out of the 64 islands, and we shall give you all the security you need. But we shall not be able to handle both parties, the NOP and the NRM, in the same area of the town council. And we got out of the meeting with a consensus, but unfortunately that was the last day. And we don't know why they had wanted to come on the last day of the campaigns, which was a day we had booked right from the beginning of the campaigns. So it's not correct that we try to stop them. It is true that they failed to run a very competent campaign, but as always, they had to get for any scapegoats to help them explain out the situation. And of course, some of them were talking to them and said, oh, you see, if you don't come, we must put up some resistance. Nope, will deny us cards in the next elections. So many of them were actually turning up as showbiz, but not as serious campaigners.
Now, Honorable, also there have been allegations of vote rigging, vote stuffing by the opposition in this election, that even some allege that people were even denied access to polling stations.
Well, if they present any substantive evidence around, to back that up, I'll back out. But what I will tell you, first of all, you ask the Electoral Commission, the BVK machines worked throughout all the polling centers and throughout the entire day. If the allegation was correct, it should have been advanced during the day that maybe in this polling center where the machine collapsed and failed to work. However, what happened to these guys, because we were seeing them in Kalangala town, as I told you, we have 64 village islands which are habited. And the Kalangala Town Council, which people call Kalangala, is Bugala Islands, one of the 64 islands. All of them were camped here apart from one of the sub-counties in Bufumira, which is just across the lake. There, Honorable Kabuso and a few others were there. When they realized that we were not making any breakthrough, they wanted to overturn the results. We resisted as our agents, and we insisted to the Electoral Commission that if they have any serious grievances, carry all the boxes and have them counted at the district headquarters. They backed off and left. I will tell you, in the Tare Center, none of them even turned up. So it is true that they were seen on the ground for obvious reasons, because the presentation of their candidate was a false start. There were other people in the Kalanga who were more competent to be their candidates. They chose a sister because the intention was to ride on the sympathy of the late, who had actually been a very popular person within the island. But this is a young girl whose father lives in Kalanga, in Chamuso, one of the deep islands, but she had never been there. Even during the campaign, they had to ride her in a boat covering her eyes because she was fearing the lake. So these friends of ours presented a very bad low show. And from the beginning, I think they also knew. Because as I've given you the statistics, right from the president to the local government elections, we had won in all the elections by almost 90%. So I think they knew that having lost a very strong candidate, this young lady from Luero who had been imported to Kalangala, could not work well, and this now dictates the level of performance of the NOP. Just examine all the senior leaders who have always flooded by-elections. Why were they absent in Kalangala right from the first day? And the NOP decides to come on the voting day at midday, when voting had already started. Honorable Rubongoya, who came at the nomination, came alone. It's not true, and those allegations are just calculated to create an image that they were maybe manipulated, which is not correct. We had a very thorough campaign, which included all of us, and finally was climaxed by the president himself coming to campaign on the 22nd. Now you cannot appear to be serious when you just downgrade your campaign team, and then at the end of it all you complain about against others who put up a very big show. We had all the leaders that matter, including General Katumba Wamala, who is the original son of this area. He campaigned with us right from the beginning. We had the Deputy Secretary General. We had all the directors. All of us were down there. Then this was coupled by the nature of our campaigns. For us, we have leaders at every village in all countries, villages of Uganda throughout the country. We carried out our campaign using the structured elections that had worked during the presidential elections. Every village, the 50 leaders were met. They were urged to look for at least 2, 3, 4, 5 voters and make sure that we comb every area. NRM campaigned in every village of Kalangala. We have 97 villages, and our presence was there. At the end of the exercise, not only defeated us in the town council, where they also defeated us by about 50 votes. Otherwise, we defeated them in all the 6 sub-counties of Kalangala, and they were lost only in 1 in town council. Now, why didn't we staff in the town council and we had to staff elsewhere?
Right. Thank you very much, Ambassador, for that detailed picture painted therein. We are looking at the aftermath of the Kalangala District Woman MP election. Results were officially read at about 2 a.m. and it's something that we're looking at. We're having this conversation with Ambassador James Chinobe Williams, who is the Commissioner of the NRM Electoral Commission for Buganda region in this particular position as he's speaking, but he's also a former member of Parliament, a major retired, and as well as a former Minister of State for Children Affairs. But be part of the conversation, 0709-602592. And in your view, what were the key highlights of the Kalangala District Woman MP by-election? Do share those highlights, 0709-602592. Send a WhatsApp message, but also you can head over to our X handle at UBCTV Uganda and use the hashtag UBCGNU. Now, Ambassador, looking at the picture you've painted of 2021 versus 2026, 2021, NRM had lost the most part of Kalangala, and 2026 NRM has regained the biggest part of Kalangala. Only that position was one that you failed to attain in the January elections, but lo and behold, in the by-election, you've been able to regain that remaining part as well. Given that comparison, 2026 versus 2021 elections, and of course, including these by-elections, what lessons does the NRM garner?
Yeah, first of all, the major lesson, I think, is complacency. We sometimes ignore some of the factors as they come up. Uganda is at the center of this country. It is at the center of all the challenges Ugandans meet along in their day-to-day lives. Uganda is the capital of the country. Uganda is the melting pot of the rich and the poor. So definitely the issues that affect Ugandans are squarely more higher, and we should have paid more scrutiny on them as a party in the central region. That's why you find that even most of the urban areas we've not been doing well, because the young people are made to believe, because of the politics of lies, not politics of issues, they are made to believe that you don't have a job because it's NRM. Why? Because we opened up education. More universities are churning out more highly educated people, yet the public service of Uganda is hardly 500,000 people. Our plan was to start up the efforts of industrialization so that the public service is supported by the private sector. Definitely, our highly educated young people do not want to do some of the jobs in those factories. You'll find that even the projects were so proud about the road networks, the construction that goes on. Much of this work is participated in by the lowly educated. Now, with the vibrant media, all these things compounded have made it a bit complicated for the NRM to perform very well in urban areas. Now, let's go to Kalangala specifically. Kalangala was created in 1989 through affirmative action, and it was cut out of Masaka as it was a sub-district then. But it was not meeting all the requirements of having been created as a district, but as an affirmative policy to enable them to pick up. Kalangala was created, but when we created Kalangala, at that time the population was low. The population eventually picked up, the fishing industry worked out, and you had now almost all Ugandans crowding up in Kalangala. Now, recently we had a challenge. Because of the bad fishing habits and methods, immediately after the elections, they were necessary to clamp on these illegal fishers who fish young fish and so on. And this did not work well also with us. So, the lessons we have learned is that we need to be more organized. And this time around we're trying to get more organized. Come 2031, it will be a bit different. What are we doing differently this time around? We've had structures that have delivered our victory through the committees. It is now a deliberate plan that we involve them in the day-to-day monitoring of the policies that we implement, whether they are effectively serving or not. 2, wealth creation and development are completely 2 different things. We over-concentrated in the past on getting the country out of the mess it was in, because everybody remembers that by the time we got into power, the state had almost collapsed, the economy had collapsed. Every index was indicating a failure in every sector. So we revamped everything. The development is there, the road networks are there, but the personal wealth component was not commensurate with the development that was being seen. And that's why you see in our major thrust of the next Kisanja, we are talking about more efforts towards wealth creation, because we believe that people must match in their personal wealth with the development that's being talked about. Unfortunately, wealth is a personal challenge. People may choose or may not choose to participate in activities that bring in wealth the same way you can control, in an opposite way where you can control development. You choose where the road should go, you choose which infrastructure to invest in, but mindset change to make people believe that money must be earned. You must have a job. If you don't have a job, you must be innovative and do ABCD. Given our past the educational system which created the employment other than entrepreneurship, these are challenges which we have seen and we must respond to, because the young people are getting out as more frustrated groups, and rightly so, because some of them who even go to school can't find jobs. They can't find jobs because they were trained to have jobs. They are trained to be employed. Our efforts this time around to ensure that one also is going to be putting more emphasis on skills development, on enabling our peasants who have been cultivators to become commercial players within the economy, producing what is for the market, and bringing wealth into the homes of every person. Our challenge this time would be to make sure that we awaken our people, have a mindset change, to look more positively towards wealth creation at a personal level. Maybe to reduce the frustrations that normally result into the people dissenting the NRM, because some people think that we don't want rich communities, we want a poor population so that it's governed properly. It is the opposite. People, when they have money, they have value for life, they have value for what they get, and they become major stakeholders in creating stability and progress for the country. For Kalangala, we have just realized that some of the programs we put in very good faith were not properly handled. For example, the fishing issue. An act which we passed almost a year and a half ago, the regulations on how to implement it have never come into place, and the President recently had charged the new Minister for Fisheries, who also happens to come from Buvuma fishing area, to make sure that these regulations are brought forward and harmonize the fishing industry, because it's a major industry that will bring in a lot of employment, because of these young people at the lake should be earning, but it also brings in the much needed external earnings.
Right.
We're also putting affirmative action on Kalangala once again. Their request is that we have islands of Mazinga which border towards the Tanzania, and we had to reach allowances for only those people. It is our proposal that I think we consider Kalangala as a hard-to-reach area. They will handle Karamoja, all of it, and not just some parts of Kalangala. Thirdly, Kalangala has got two constituencies which are surrounded by water. Our policies of sending facilitation to the civil servants there in terms of either transport, we always talk about bicycles and motorcycles. For them, they want boats because they don't have roads. The hospital structure, where they have four centers which are scattered in the two constituencies. The President has promised that they promised to have the main hospital put in place as a referral hospital for them. It has to be looked into and sorted out. They don't have any single tarmac road linking them from the learning sites apart from within the town council. So, and also the palm oil industry needs to be given much attention. So Kalangala will eventually emerge as a very wealthy area, and possibly some of the concerns putting them against the party will be handled in term of office.
All right, thank you very much, Ambassador. Now our time is fast spent. Would really have loved to have this conversation further, but kindly allow us end it here to make way for the rest of the programming. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you, my brother Robert. All the best.
It's been a pleasure. And we're closing this with a comment that is coming in, or rather maybe two comments. One that says that the NUP party is complaining that on the day of the president on the day of that the president went there to campaign, the UPDF blocked NUP candidates from campaigning. And is that true or not? The NUP also claims that yesterday the NRM blocked Joel Senyonyi from entering Kalangala. Is that true? Otherwise, congratulations to NRM's Aida Nabaiga for winning the Kalangala District Woman MP by-election. Thank Emma Yona Uruk Oyam District, Lango Sub-Region. And finally, good morning. Failure of the opposition leadership to be with strong alternatives towards the challenges of Ugandans has made a very strong impact in all elections everywhere. Secondly, excessive security intervention that is at a certain point not necessary has also impacted in that election. It causes fear amongst voters. I am Katwesije Johnson in Kaboa. Thank you so much for being on the show and following the program. Up next is GMU Tourism Express. We do have business as well as the agenda and highlights from the World Cup. Good morning.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Alright, listen up. Colgate is on a mission. It's kind of a big thing. Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature turf and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth. New Colgate Herbal with Salt combines traditional nature's herbs with and Colgate Science. A natural recipe for strong teeth and healthy gums.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda. Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Yes, morning once again. Felix, my name. Your guide, I'm so excited to receive you all this morning as my clients. You are almost welcome, specifically at the top of Masho National Park. You are almost welcome. Before we go for another activities, allow me to give you the highlight about Masho National Park, how it came into existence as well as River Nile. The local name of Masho National Park, it was called Kabalega National Park. And Kabalega was the king of Bunyoro. Kabalega was known to be as one of the great fighters in this region, of which some years back he fought the British until he defeated. Having defeated the British, that is when he made the name of this park to be known by its name as Kabalega National Park. As I talk now, Kabalega is no longer alive, he died. But his son called Solomon Gafabusa Igure I is now the king of Bunyoro. And the name of Kabalega National Park has been changed to And Masho National Park, it is found in northwestern Uganda. It is also bisected by the Victoria Nile from east to west, covering a distance of about 115 kilometers. Here, waters from the Nile River, it flows through a narrow gorge of 7 meters wide. It then plunges deep 45 meters, resulted into what is termed as the world's most powerful waterfalls. And that's now the Mashon Falls. The one who named Mashon Falls was one of the British called Sir Samuel Baker. He named the falls Mashon Falls after the geologist called Roderick Markshon, the president of the Royal Geographical Society. That was the year 1864. However, Mashon National Park, Mashon Falls was also able to give birth to the second falls, called Uru Falls. Uru Falls is an Kiswahili language, which means Freedom Falls. In Uganda here we call it Independent Falls. Reason being, it happened in the time when Uganda was being liberated freely from the British. That was the year 1962. And also that very year, Uganda experienced heavy rain called El Nino rainfalls. Everywhere in Uganda has got floods, forcing the water which could pass through a narrow gauge of 7 meters wide only to be diverted. They are now leading to the formation of the second falls, which we are calling it Uru Falls or Freedom Falls. So that's how Marshall Falls came into existence. I surely all of you, for the people who have not yet come here sometimes back, get ready to receive a free natural showering. Are you ready for that? Yeah. But before us going down, allow me to talk a bit about River Nile. River Nile, it has got major 3 facts. 1, this is the only river which is known to be as one of the longest rivers in the world. Stretches right from the source of Lake Victoria up to Mediterranean Sea, covering a distance of about 6,665 kilometers. Secondly, it's also the only river which has been discovered to be flowing in opposite direction. That is from south to north instead of north to south. Lastly, it's known as the world's most powerful waterfalls. Let us see how it started and how it ended. When Lake Victoria was full with much water, water started looking its own ways through meandering. Not east, not west, but from south. It forced itself to open its outlet through meandering to the point called Lake Kyoga. And Lake Kyoga, being its size too small, it also opened its outlet through meandering to the point called Karuma Falls. Karuma Falls also protruding to the point called Marshall Falls, and this is where we are going within a few minutes. So from this falls, Marshall Falls will protruding to the next basin called Lake Albert. And remember, from Lake Victoria up to Lake Albert, we are calling it Victoria Nile. And why are we calling it Victoria Nile? Because the water which is flowing to Lake Albert is coming from the main lake called Lake Victoria. Then from Lake Albert, we're protruding to the next point called the Albert Nile. At this time, we are calling it the Albert Nile because we have considered Lake Albert to be the major lake. Then from Albert Nile still we're protruding to the point called the White Nile. And of course, the White Nile will emerge together with the Blue Nile, which is in the north of Ethiopia, south of Sudan, a place called Khartoum, and pour us into Mediterranean Sea, a place called Alexandria, which is in Egypt. So that's all about Mason National Park as well as River Nile. It's the right time for me to welcome the question. Any question? Any question? Have you all got what I've given? Are you satisfied with it? Are you ready?
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda. Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Welcome to business. Now Sudan faces growing brain drain as conflict drives skilled workers abroad. As Sudan's conflict continues, a new challenge is emerging beyond the battlefield. Thousands of skilled professionals, including doctors, engineers, teachers, and business owners, are leaving the country for safety places for their businesses. Now, human capital experts warn that the consequences of this could be dire to its recovery and rebuilding efforts of Sudan. Let's take a look at this.
Experts say the departure of thousands of skilled Sudanese workers is creating gaps across multiple sectors, raising concerns about the country's ability to retain the talent needed for future reconstruction. The impact is already being felt in essential services, particularly healthcare, where many facilities are operating with fewer experienced staff.
We've seen large numbers of qualified doctors and healthcare workers leave in search of safer and more stable conditions. This has increased pressure on those who remain, especially in facilities that are already dealing with limited resources and growing demands.
Sudan already faced a shortage of skilled professionals before the conflict. Analysts say the impact extends beyond immediate staffing shortages. As authorities work to restore essential services and rebuild key sectors, their talents are key.
The loss of skilled professionals affects almost every aspect of recovery. Countries emerging from conflict depend heavily on experienced workers to rebuild institutions, deliver services, and stimulate economic growth. The longer this trend continues, the greater the challenge becomes.
Despite the difficulties, many Sudanese professionals abroad remain connected to their communities and continue supporting efforts back home through expertise, investment, and professional networks. Observers say creating conditions that encourage their eventual return could play a crucial role in Sudan's future recovery. As Sudan looks toward recovery, experts say rebuilding the country's skilled workforce may prove as important as rebuilding its infrastructure. For many observers, the question is not only how Sudan rebuilds after the war, but who will be there to help in those efforts. Naba Muhiddin, CGTN, Port Sudan.
CGTN, source of that story. Now, ongoing tension between the United States and Iran continue to disrupt global energy and shipping markets, putting upward pressure on logistics and commodity prices worldwide. Now, those in the construction sector are worried that if this continues and stocks stocked earlier run out, then what they will be using, the prices are likely to skyrocket. Let's take a look at this.
Construction sector relies entirely on imported bitumen for road infrastructure. Industry players are now closely tracking potential cost increases. And for now, companies have not reported any immediate disruptions as the industry has been supported by existing stockpiles and long-term supply contracts. But operators warn that any sustained rise in global prices could quickly translate into higher infrastructure costs in the months ahead, as well as a spike in shipping costs.
If international prices continue to rise, existing government contracts will need to be adjusted. Otherwise, maintaining competitiveness will become increasingly difficult.
And with that, we come to the end of our business stories. Up next, we'll go for a break. When we return, Julie will be having the agenda, and I'll return later on with Good Morning Uganda Extra. Keep it with us.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda. Pick of the day on UBC.
He expected me to die like within the first 2 years.
Out of the blue, the child will get pains, especially in the wrists. And this happens commonly when children are starting to walk.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get
Get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
All right, listen up. Colgate is on a mission.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature turf and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth.
New Colgate Herbal with Salt combines traditional nature's herbs with a pinch of salt and Colgate Science. A natural recipe for strong teeth and healthy gums.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels,